This is a DM's guide to Toxworth Clockworks. So if you're not a DM and running this game, I wouldn't watch this video. Go watch something else of mine. So your intro in this game might involve the Golden Vault. They deliver a music box to the party, saying that a svirfneblin town called Little Lockford in the Underdark needs help. The town's chief of security, Tixie Toxworth, has turned the clockwork automatons against its citizens. The townsfolk managed to get out and seal the area with Tixie and the robots inside. The party needs to retrieve a key to stop and power down the automatons. Meet with Mayor Braith Broadfoot outside the town gates in the Underdark. So we get a random encounters table for the journey there, which is deep in the Underdark itself. When they meet the mayor, who is a deep gnome, she says that the override device is in her workshop, protected by a magic symbol on the floor, and the key is in a safe, also in the workshop. It's possible there are still some gnomes in there who didn't evacuate the city. So Broadfoot will hand them a map with a pair of places labelled the wrong way around. Plus, she says that in the town hall, there's 4 potions of healing, a packet of dust of disappearance, and 2 flasks of alchemist fire, which could prove useful. So they get this map. The town hall is quite near and they must reach the opposite corner of the map. There are bridges that can be retracted and there's travel possible on buckets under rails, which is called the slag line, and it's used for carrying ore and coal and junk. Tixie Toxworth is using the central island as her base. It's the security centre. Tixie, also a deep gnome, went all cyberpunk and started modding her body with robot parts until she lost humanity. In Area 11 there's a tunnelling vehicle which could be of some use. The mayor will offer them a ruby ring worth 5,000 gold, boots of striding and springing, a drift globe and a stone of good luck, if the city is brought back under her control. Now the mayor could be persuaded to give the party one of these items up front. So the boots of striding and springing, your walking speed becomes 30 feet, unless your walking speed is higher, and your speed isn't reduced if you are encumbered or wearing heavy armour. In addition, you can jump 3 times the normal distance, though you can't jump farther than your remaining movement would allow. A drift globe is a small sphere of thick glass, weighs 1 pound. If you are within 60 feet of it, you speak its command word and cause it to emanate the light or daylight spell. Once used, the daylight effect can't be used again until the next dawn. You speak another command word as an action to make the globe rise into the air and float 5 feet off the ground. If you move more than 60 feet from the globe, it follows you. So that's pretty useful. The Stone of Good Luck, you gain +1 bonus to ability checks and saving throws. When it's time to enter, Sergeant Yombad Cragnukle limps over with a bandaged arm. He scowls and roleplay him as stern. He has information, but he doesn't speak common. So you could have him be translated if no one speaks his language, or let him mime. So he says, or mimes, move quickly through the town to avoid the automatons. Avoid the cave mouth due to the monsters. There's a d6 roll table for those monsters. I seem to recall that potions of healing and healer's kits can be found in the infirmary in Turbine Heights. Healing items found in a hospital? Who knew? Now you could have the sergeant point out the error, the switch locations on the map they've been given. The town areas are lit orangey red due to the lava below. Certain death if you plummet into that, unless you're immune to fire or some magical stuff. If you're going to have a player be pushed or dropped over the edge, maybe increase the fear by allowing them a couple of dex saves as they cling firstly to the edge by their fingertips and second fall 10-15 feet and grab on again at the last chance they get to get a save to climb back up. So some bridges are retracted and some bridges are out, and the areas of land are at different heights, so these bridges can go up and down. Think about that from what you can see. Some places you can't, you're below it and you can't see too much other than maybe the tops of buildings. Now there's a table for random buildings if you're stuck on descriptions. So the slag line moves automatically once it's turned on in an anti-clockwise direction, and it moves for 1 minute and it stops for 1 minute, then it moves for a minute. 2 medium creatures to a bucket. And you can enter safely at 2 places in Cavemouth, 1 in Smolder Town and 1 in Old Lockford. The security inside consists of 20 clockwork observers who survey for intruders and who will emit a piercing alarm calling 1d4 clockwork defenders, of which only 8 exist in this map. The little observers will also telepathically let Tixie know there's trouble ahead and intruders have arrived. The Clockwork Observer is a tiny grapefruit-sized construct. AC 14, 7 average hit points. The Observer doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when it flies out of an enemy's reach, telepathic bond with Tixie, and only has the Shriek ability. It's a warning alarm. Then the Clockwork Defenders, AC 17, 42 average health. The Electrified Bite is +5, 7 piercing, +7 lightning on average. The target must succeed on a DC 13 strength save or you're grappled. A creature will take that damage again at the start of each of the defender's turns. The defender can only grapple one person at a time and can't make electrified bites attacks while grappling. Essentially, it bites down on you and keeps shocking you rather than making fresh bites. I think that's the idea. Bonus action! The defender emits bright light from its eyes in a 60-foot cone. It's, searchlight, big torch on its head. Okay, Old Lockford. The stern sergeant will lead them to the gates where 2 black-robed gnome mages use magic to open the gates, whereupon the heat will hit the players. Yombad will illustrate knocking 7 times on the gates, mimes, and points to a gatehouse. The gatehouse provides a place to rest, if not much else. 2. 3 armoured dead gnomes lay dead on the town hall steps. The front door's open and it's mostly a large chamber with offices at the back. In an unlocked footlocker under the mayor's desk are the items that Broadfoot described. Now, as they leave the buildings, you may use the Wandering Monsters roll table to find out what security is around. Remember, if destroyed, to make a note because there's finite amount of these things. 20 of one, 8 of the other. Or throw them down as you see fit. Whatever's easiest for you. The only intact bridge is to Halfway Isle and then to Turbine Heights. Halfway Isle. Here they find an abbey with a symbol of the deep brother Caladuran Smoothhands, god of miners and stone carvers, over the door. The abbot of the abbey, Cavoda, tried to evacuate but was chased back by security bots, whereupon he used meld into stone to camouflage himself into the stonework. Now, moments later, escaped prisoners arrived and hid out here. Slonk, a goblin boss, and his bugbear bodyguard Yuzik are both in manacles and weaponless, and they're on the run. You could put this pair in the main room as the book suggests. I would say why not stick them in one of the empty boring rooms at the back. Add some abbey related finds. Candles, prayer beads, kneeling cushions, holy water. It's Cavoda who is the centre of this location piece. He wears a grey robe, carries a scroll of magic weapon and a potion of hill giant strength. Cavoda just desperately wants escorting to the gates. Remember, 7 knocks to get them open. He will even offer his magical items. So the magic weapon scroll means that you touch any weapon, it gets a +1 to attacks and damage, and that should please any player, I would imagine. But would it please a monk? No, because it uses fists. And then there's that hill giant strength thing. This potion, when drunk, will boost your strength score to 21 for 1 hour onto Turbine Heights. Turbine Heights is overwhelmed with a foggy steam, as the power station at the centre has a Clockwork Defender's leg stuck in the northwest turbine, causing it to back up. Through the mist, they will see lightning arc from the central power station to the smaller buildings. This area is considered lightly obscured. Now remember, the infirmary and the jail are swapped. In the infirmary, there are small wheelchairs, 6 healers kits, and 6 potions of healing. The jail is a 2-storey building with a heavy iron door which is actually open. There are 4 dead gnomes in armour and pieces of a dog-like automaton, the defenders. Now the power station crackles with energy and spews steam. The stuck defender is still alive and needs removing, so kill or remove the robot and then the steam and fog can dissipate. Now there's a control panel which powers the whole town. All the bridges are controlled here, the lights of the towns, the slag line, and one for the overall power station itself. Remember to keep rolling for the security outside each building. Over to Smolder Town. The industrial side of town is coated with grime and soot. In the foundry, furnaces and machinery fill the space. There's 3 sets of smith's tools and 3 sets of tinkerer's tools. In the tavern, there's beer called Rubble Club Classic and there's a whiskey called Glyph Rubble Club. Toxworth herself could be found drinking at the end of the bar. Tixie will step through a dimension door as they see her. "Break time is over, Poots," she will say out loud. Poots is an interesting touch because it's an imaginary friend from her childhood. 9. A shield guardian blocks the way into the workshop. Shield guardian, AC 17, 142 average health. We simply have multi-attack with its fists, so +7 to attack, 11 average bludgeoning. Twice. So on the lower floor, big drums filled with clockwork parts. There's a lit up pattern on the floor with a metal box in the middle. Also a ladder can be climbed to the 2nd floor. 2 animated armour called Rack and Pinion attack on sight. Animated armour, armour class 18, hit points 33, a speed of only 25, immunities. Dispel magic can stop these things quite easily. They have multi-attack, simple +4 to hit, 5 bludgeoning damage each hit. If anyone enters the floor pattern which glows, they make a wisdom save of 15 or become charmed into fighting an ally. That's cool. If the correct key is put in the box keyhole, with a right turn, the clockwork security deactivate. With a left turn, the glyph turns off. Now upstairs, there's a bed, a safe, a table, all covered in schematics. Get in the safe however, really. But Tixie will know, and Tixie can dimension door here and have a fight. She fights for a bit and then dimension doors again to L12. In the safe, there's an onyx jewellery box with a ring, 3 gems and a security key. Over in Cave Mouth, there's mining equipment scattered all around a gloomy district. Now, the street lights start by being off, so it's dark and creepy, unless you've been and turned the lights on where you found the powerhouse. So a mining guild hall has showers and lockers. An invisible spectre who uses the poltergeist variant will throw axes at them after a minute. Nice. So Spectre is AC 12, hit points 22, flies 50 feet, has some immunities, can move through creatures and objects, and the variant gives it invisibility. A forceful slam, +4, 10 force damage on average. Telekinetic thrust. The poltergeist targets a creature within 30 feet, a medium or smaller character. The poltergeist makes a charisma check, contested by the target's strength check, and can hurl the target up to 30 feet, including upwards. And as you know, when you fall, for every 10 feet you take a d6 damage. The poltergeist can even use the person or whatever thrown as a ranged weapon, attacking one creature along the object's path, +4 to hit, and dealing 5 bludgeoning damage on a hit. So throw it through allies. In the warehouse, there's a vehicle with a large drill head on the front. Behind the vehicle is a hatch into it. There's also 2 weird-looking corpses lying there. They are actually mimics with the Psychic Grey Ooze variant. That means the mimics also get a Psychic Crush. It targets a creature within 60 feet. The target must succeed on a DC 10 intelligence save or take 10 psychic damage. So that's on top of the usual AC of 12, 58 average health, only 15 speed. The mimic adheres to anything it touches, so if a pseudopod attack touches, they're stuck to it. And its escape DC of 13. So the pseudopod is +5, 7 bludgeoning, and then it gets to bite, +5, 7 piercing, plus the 4 acid damage if you're doing averages. Ignis Flint, a deep gnome miner, is locked inside the driller. He is actually against Tixie and he will help if they can convince him. He can say that there's 2 suits of armour helping Tixie. He'll say there's an iron safe upstairs in the workshop, there's a shield guardian guarding the workshop, and that Tixie speaks to herself thinking she's got an imaginary friend called Poots. And Poots is the alarm bypass key phrase. The Overlook, a clock-faced stalactite which is hollowed out to be the security centre. It occupies the middle of town, and there are fungal gardens and views to enjoy. There are also 6 giant lizards at 12. Hundreds of ordinary lizards lay around too. They are docile and can be used as mounts. Well, not the little ones. So inside a domed building is a hologram of the town to show the bridges, etc., the lights what are on. Tixie may be faced here, and bear in mind she wears a jetpack so she can fly. She mocks the heroes, talking to Poots now and again. Let's look at her stats. AC of 17, 75 average health. I would make it the clean 100 max myself. Bear in mind she can fly in a 3D option of directions. She has true sight. She generates a magical force field around herself that has 15 points and regains all its hit points at the start of Toxworth's turns. Any damage Toxworth takes is subtracted from the force field's hit points first. It's temporary hit points. Now every time the force field regains hit points, that will end her being grappled or restrained and stunned. Beautiful. Toxworth will then make 3 short sword or lightning discharge attacks. Short sword +6 for 6 piercing plus the 10 force damage. Or the lightning ranged is +6 and 16 lightning. She will make 3 of either. She can cast blur, which makes her harder to hit. Blindness, deafness, which means the things like if you choose a target, well, you can't see the target. So, bonus actions, Scalding Steam. She emits a jet of piping hot steam in a 15-foot cone. It's a DC 15 dex save, or you take 10 fire damage and then half as much on a save. If they kill Tixie, basically the jetpack explodes. It's 3d10 shrapnel up to a 20-foot radius. Does the dome shatter? Ultimately, the players have saved the day, and if you need to expand this adventure into the Underdark, then maybe this video is the one for you, where I give an overview of the Underdark. What did I just say? Each hit.